Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to the Jersey Crew Fantasy Football Podcast. Heading into week 13, we are down to 2 weeks remaining in fantasy football world and the Jersey Crew 20th anniversary season down to the last 2 weeks. Ben and I are back for our 14th episode of the season, and here we are to talk fantasy football and the Jersey Crew. So let's start with Ben to see how your weekend was and how you feeling heading into the last 2 weeks of the regular season.
Just a big nice sigh. We're doing a cool morning podcast this morning.
Yep.
And just kicking off the week in a good way after a pretty rocky week. I think you had a pretty similar week in that sense, but I'm starting to like itch with the feeling of playoffs coming, and so I got a win. It just felt like a loss in this league because it was just so ugly. But to Matt's point, now I know what it's like to win a low scoring game, and it's fair. It's fair. It does not feel good. And then I think I went 0-3.
Really? Okay.
I definitely went 0-3 because we lost. Unfortunately, our streak came to an end.
Yep. True. Five game winning streak came to an end. Yep.
Yeah.
Still in third place.
Did not affect us. We're in third place. I don't think we've clinched yet, but we're at least in third place and should be okay. I think we're still either one or 2 games ahead. So rough week.
Yeah.
I throw it back to you. How'd you fare?
Similar. I wonder if we share some exposure when it comes to players on our teams, and maybe they just had a down week last week or whatever the case was, but really hot. I think this was this is week 12. I'm talking about going 2-5, and it's my first week of the season going under 500 with my fantasy team. So it's like both positive and negative. It's like it's negative because I went 2-5, but I think that was the first week that I went under 500 for the 7 fantasy leagues that I'm in.
Wow.
So not bad at all there. We did lose. I think we also have a chance to clinch a bye too. So it's like we didn't clinch playoffs, but we also have a chance to get a bye too. So we're kind of right in the middle there. I am like that with several of my teams. I think I have 4 teams at 7-5 and then 2 teams at 8-4. So nothing like absolutely crushing it. And all of them, including Jersey Crew, as we're going to talk about it, have a chance to all make playoffs. So it's getting to the nitty gritty. We got 2 weeks to go. I don't know if I have a lot of clinched teams, so it's kind of like in the air there. We have to win a couple games for most of my teams going into the last 2 weeks. And especially Jersey Crew coming off of a win. Both of us, like you said, you scored 115 and 1 against Gangrene, who unfortunately only scored 93 points, and we'll talk about him. But you got to win. And then myself too. Unfortunately, again, Lamar Jackson, 8 points total for like the last 2 games. And I got to win with 150 points, the highest score of the week for the Godfather. So feeling good about that. Beating DeChamp by 30 points. So remember, we were talking about that points being a big difference.
Yep.
Getting the same record as DeChamp after beating him helps. And then making up 30 points to his 50 or so that he was up on me now brings it to about 27 or so. Yeah, 27 points that he's up on me. So that helps as well. If for some reason we're in that 6 and 7 spot still, and points matter for the 6th spot. So that was important. But yeah, didn't have a great fantasy week. Went 1-4 in the pick 5. Not great there. Survivor was crazy. So that was the biggest sweat of the weekend. Still, all 3 entries I am alive in, all below 6, 7, 5% for all those fields. The high roller, only 5 remain, and 3 of those had San Fran on Monday night. So I was really rooting against them, even though my 1 entry had San Francisco. So I was willing to lose an entry. The sacrifice to win, probably chop that pot of 8,200 and get about 4,100. I was willing to do that. It didn't happen. So 5 left is in the high roller, and the other one made it in because San Fran won. So all 3 are still alive. But it is just nasty out there. Like I am picking like Jacksonville Jaguars, and they won. And they won. The craziest part of the sweat was, so I was coming down to lock, and I was like really just going back and forth. Like, I mean, I don't have a lot of options, but I had Eagles as an option, and I had Jacksonville as an option. So I end up going with Jaguars and really just not liking it. Nasty.
Yeah.
Watching their game and then seeing Eagles up by 21-0. I'm like, oh, what an awful decision, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then Eagles end up losing and Jacksonville ends up winning. So really just a real interesting sweat there. Move forward in all three of those. So that's good. DFS didn't cash, but I'm up as a season in the season number one spot. I'm up 55 points. That goes to week 18. So we still have a decent amount of, chunk of the season left.
Yep.
And then pick 5, I went 1-4, still first overall for the season, but only up 1 correct pick to the second place. So a lot closer there. So we have a lot of football to play in those leagues and those pools because it goes to 18. But feeling good there overall. Not feeling the greatest. I was under the weather this weekend, so I'm still getting over that. Man. So I was just parked on the couch for like 8 straight hours. I was just chilling, watching football and getting ready for Thanksgiving. You're actually headed out today, right? Are you traveling today?
I was going to try to, but it's just going to be crazy out there. It's going to be nuts. Apparently traffic's going to be rough, especially in that exact spot. So I think I'm going to head out nice and early tomorrow morning. Yeah, like taking a day to kind of get in to what's about to come. Cause also Thanksgiving can tend to distract us from the goal at hand here.
Yeah.
So,
and the 3 games too. Like I keep forgetting there's 3 games tomorrow. Like I got to prepare lineups. I have to look, double check waivers and things of that nature. Like today, and today's Wednesday, and I'm not usually in that mindset on Wednesday. So that's true. So let's do a little recap. We're at Thanksgiving. We're thankful for a lot of things. And we got, the family, football and Thanksgiving tomorrow. What are you most thankful for when it comes to your fantasy football portfolio this year?
That's an awesome question. I was actually going to say that kind of anyway, because as you're naming all of your successes this season and how a down week feels pretty rough because of how many other weeks we're really hitting, it's wild that, between the two of us, here's my big thankful kind of moment here is between the two of us collectively. If it weren't for your slow start in Jersey Crew with your wins, we may look at this year and go, this is unequivocally the best fantasy season we've ever had.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And we're on the 4th season of this podcast, and we are getting closer and closer to 100 episodes, total episodes as a podcast, which I heard the stat a couple of years ago that was like 4% of podcasts ever get to that. And it's just so cool that we're like, hey, we're targeting an audience of 12 people, 2 of which is us.
Yep.
And it's been so awesome. And we're about to hit a number that very few people get to. And it's the best fantasy season collectively of all time.
Nice.
If you can get that team into the playoffs, all of that gets wiped away, and now it actually is even if let's say you win one game or you even lose the playoffs, you still got in.
I agree.
I mean, there's so much to be thankful for there.
There is a lot to be thankful for. You are right. We're surpassed 80 episodes as of the moment. Wow. One more season will get us to 100. We're surpassed 1.1 or should not million 1,100 listens on Apple and Spotify. So anything that goes through the podcasting channels, we're past 1,100 listens. And then YouTube too has been taken off this year. Family members watch. I send out the clips to friends that aren't necessarily in the league, and they'll check it out. So a lot of fun. So I am most thankful for that. Growing the quality, the quantity as well. And then fantasy football too. It's like we decreased the quantity. Like I did 10 leagues, 12 leagues the one year, and it's like, all right, we're decreasing that. But now we're increasing the quality where we might go 100% of our teams making playoffs if I can squeeze in the Godfather here. Wow. I mean, we're talking about 7 teams. One of them we share, then you have 2 others, I think, right? So Three. So 10 total teams. We might go 10 for 10. The podcast hosts to make playoffs with a couple of those in really good spots, not just to make playoffs, but to actually win a few championships. So what's the number? I want to say like combine me and you, like we got to win like 3 championships this year.
Yeah.
That'd
I think
awesome.
3 is a really safe. That sounds crazy, but
I know it does. It does.
Answer. I am clinched in 3 of
nice.
What is it? 3 of 4 leagues.
Yeah.
Because it's my other 2, and then we're just waiting on ours. But in all likelihood, we're in the playoffs there. So looking at that too, and going, I don't have to worry for the next 2 weeks. I can put myself in a better position. But I don't. I'm in 3 leagues. So yeah, dude, I like 3. I think that's. The safe answer is 1. Let's get 1 championship between the 2 of us.
Yeah, that's safe. You don't have to give anything away, but are you changing anything strategically heading into the playoffs, knowing that you clinched? Are you preparing for semis, championship runs any differently than you would if you are just kind of sneaking in?
That's really interesting. I don't know if I would have been able to kind of name it like this if you didn't ask that question. But what I'm doing is I'm just kind of auditioning players. Okay. I'm going, who's going to be this second wide receiver spot? Who's going to be the second flex spot? I've got my running backs. I've got Hampton who's coming back, but who knows? Like, scary. It could be amazing. Could be just like pretty neutral, but that's what I'm doing to get ready. I can afford a 115-point game and play Slayton and see what he does, and play Sean Tucker and see like, okay, if Bucky's out again, could this guy be a really great fixture? And so, that's a great question. That's what I'm trying out with a pretty nice safety net behind it.
I agree. So a lot to be thankful for. Everyone, hopefully you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving coming up, and Jersey Crew. We're going to get into it. We're going to look at the last week, look at a couple W's, look at a couple losses, and then what we're ultimately going to do is look at the playoff picture. Look at the playoff bubble, which now includes really Jet-Up and Gangrene too. So we have Jet-Up and Gangrene with 2 games to go, only 2 games above Duchamp and the Godfather. So when I look at this playoff bubble, and I'll bring up the little Excel sheet that I have, we're going to look at those 4 teams: Jet-Up, Duchamp, and then the Godfather, and then Gangrene. Sorry, so Gangrene, Jet-Up, and then the Duchamp and the Godfather, all within that kind of playoff bubble. Yep. And then the other bubble that we've been talking about is the bye week bubble, which is Uncle Buck, Ben's, Giants and Cowboys suck, and we're going to look at that too. We're going to look at where we stand now with record and points, and then what those next 2 games look like, who we play, and can anything change? So we'll get into that after we look at the previous week. But just a couple things, I won against the champ, so that was really helpful for my chances of making playoffs. You won, so that really keeps you close and now within that bye, which is very valuable. Yep, very valuable. Brady Gaga beat Giants and Cowboys, so he ended up losing, which is not great for his bye week aspirations. Uncle Buck just rolling along. So maybe that's our first point to look at him real quick. Let me see if I can find his game. Yep, 146 points. Is there any holes to poke? I have a couple Jersey Crew trivia questions. One of them is going to be about Uncle Buck, but before we do that, is there any holes to poke with Uncle Buck heading into the playoffs?
As I was kind of prepping for the podcast yesterday, looking through things, and I just was like, I think we just need to talk about Sean more, and which is crazy. I hate saying that. No, I'm kidding. I like, it pains me a little bit, but it just is like this team. I don't know if there's holes. He's just so dominant and so far ahead, and I especially noticed it when I was like, all right, what are my chances of getting into first?
Right.
And it's like, well, if I don't beat Sean this week, even if I do beat him this week, like the 1,752 points is almost 200 more points than anybody else. And it just is what a year.
Consistent.
What a year. Yeah, consistent. And I think Sean plays in 1 fantasy league.
He gets ready 30 seconds before the draft.
Right. He told us his strategy.
We distracted him while he was Google searching what he should do.
Exactly. And it's working. It's working. So what a year for him. it'd be a shame if he didn't win the championship. I want myself to win. I'm not going to change the way too early, projections, but this team is the odds-on favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. And my question really is like, is there anything that could go wrong? I mean, Mahomes playing well this year. Nacua, no questions asked. Matthew Stafford's playing great. Higgins, maybe there's a question mark. CMC, great pick. I wish I went more with CMC in best ball and different leagues. I didn't this year, but he's playing great. Breece Hall, decent. Travis Kelce, that stack is working out for him. Chris Olave. So not a lot of holes to poke. And I agree. I really think that he is going to be, definitely going to get a bye. And it's going to be very interesting what happens week 15 or 13, 14, his bye, 15 and 16. What is that going to look like for him heading into the playoffs and who his matchups are for his players? Because there's not a lot of holes to poke for skill level on his team.
Yeah, just to be fastidious here, T. Higgins, if we're going to try to look at every little thing and see if there's any kind of tiny hole to poke, T. Higgins is injured and is not playing on Thursday.
Okay.
And so you're right. He's been streaky, but he's been he's been stronger lately. Yeah. But still, you're not totally sure what you're going to get with him. And so he's out. He subbed Keenan Allen in for him. So I'm going to say that there is something to be said about that. Like Keenan Allen started off the year on a hot streak and has really slowed down. Could that be a little weakness? Yeah, maybe. But he's just got so many strong pieces otherwise that I don't know how much difference it makes, or if you think.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree. So really, really strong. Got a couple things to ask about him. But before we do, Ladies Love G-Man gets a win as well. So she gets a win in the win column, and then Pack Attack beats Coyotes, which was kind of surprising. 90 points for Pack Attack, and he won against Coyotes, who had 87. So really, really tough loss there for Coyotes and his chances of making playoffs this year. So let's circle back to Uncle Buck. Before we get into the bubble, I have a couple trivia questions. The first one goes with Uncle Buck. So he has finished in the regular season twice first. So he finished first in the regular season twice. Any idea on which year it was that he finished first in the regular season?
What year finished first in the regular season?
And there's two years, so you just have to maybe two guesses. Try to guess one of those in two guesses.
Oh man, I'm gonna ballpark 2016.
Very close. 2017 was one.
Okay.
And what was the other one? What was that? It was more recent than 2017.
Oh, okay. It was. I'm gonna guess it has to be somewhere after the pandemic. That could be totally wrong, but I'm gonna say 2021.
2022. Wow, you were off 1 year for both of them. So last two times that Uncle Buck finished first, because I am really looking. I mean, I'm hoping you win. But even if you do and you tie in record, he could still finish first. I'm saying right now that he's most likely going to finish in first, but we'll see.
Right.
Last time he finished in first was 2022, and he finished second overall. So he did not win the championship. That was the Q year. Remember, he gave him the
upset.
The previous time he finished first overall or in the regular season was 2017, and he lost in the semis. So he didn't even make the championship that year. So he is going to finish most likely first again. I wonder what's going to happen there. But he has not yet finished first in the regular season and then won it all. So that's for Uncle Buck, which made me start to think, how many teams? So we're on the 20th anniversary season for the Jersey Crew. So this is a full encompassing Jersey Crew trivia question. For 19 years, how many teams have finished first in the regular season and then won it all?
Oh.
The same team that finished first in the regular season also won it all. How many teams in the last 19 years?
It's less than half. I'm going to say it's right under there. So I'm going to go with 6 teams. Oh boy.
Damn, one off again, 5.
No, come on.
3 straight questions, one off. I mean, those are basically hits. 5 teams, so very close.
Yeah.
Good guess. Very good guess. 5 teams have finished first in the regular season and won it all. Any guesses? Now this is more of just a discussion. Any guesses on which teams finished first and won it all?
Benz, I know that.
2011, Benz. Yep.
Yeah. But the reason I knew this answer was not a lot is because it's kind of like a curse. Like, you don't often finish in first and then go and win the championship. It just doesn't happen a whole lot.
26% of the time. Yeah. So for 19 years, 5 teams did it. Benz was one. Any other guesses?
Pack Attack?
Nope.
Gangrene.
Yes. 2014 finished first and won it all.
Yeah.
And then we have two more. One team did it twice.
And is he not in the league?
He's not in the league anymore. Yep. Year of the Buffalo. Good guess. 2013 and 2012. So he went back-to-back seasons, finishing first and winning it all. And then the last team is Waka Flocka Flame in 2010. But only 5 teams. So very good guesses. I mean, man, you were one off on every single one of those. But it doesn't happen all the time. So that was interesting. And in the beginning, I'm like, maybe it happens even less. Maybe like never happen. It happens, 0.25% of the time.
Right.
But it doesn't happen all the time. So not to say anything about Uncle Buck, I know you see him tomorrow. If you want to run him by, the stats, he has a 25% chance if he finishes first to win it all, which is not great. But you can let him know. You can let him know. Yeah. So that was interesting too. Let me just see if I had any. No, that was the 2 main ones. Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, I'll probably just bench all my players this week. Let him keep first. Let him have it.
What's the? Let me see if I can pull up the playoffs as of today. So if it started today, what's the benefit of first place?
You're saying like second round?
There's no benefit because you're playing 4 or 5. Where yours, you play either 3 or 6. So if third wins, it's a benefit to Sean. But if 6th wins, it's a benefit to you.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Just something to think about.
I also think that, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit, but those 4 teams, with the exception of Matt, I'll give Matt a little credit here. Those are winnable games. Like, Gangrene, I just beat. He had a bad game. That wasn't really, who his team has been, but that's an interesting picture right there.
Yeah, I agree. So let's go right there to our playoff picture bubbles, and then I have one more. Or let's look at this. So
sure.
let's say for our playoff picture bubble, we're going to start with the playoff bubble, and we're going to include those 4 teams. So let me just bring that up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have those 4 teams. The next 2 games is right next to their points. So we have Gangrene that plays Coyotes and Brady Gaga, Jet Up that plays Godfather and then Groovy Q, and then the real bubble right on 6 and 7 is DeChamp, who plays Groovy Q and then Benz, and then myself, the Godfather, who plays Jet Up and then Ladies. So that's the playoff bubble as it stands right now. My first question to you is Gangrene and Jet Up. Is there any chance they lose the next 2 games? So for Gangrene, he plays Coyotes and then Brady Gaga. Jet Up, he plays Godfather and then Groovy Q. Any of those teams, Gangrene or Jet Up, could they possibly lose the next 2 games, in your opinion?
I'm going to come out with a real hot take, real bold take, following in your footsteps here. I'm going to say those 2 teams lose 3 of those 4 games.
So one of those teams lose 2 games.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
One loses 2 and one loses 1 out of 2.
Because I'm thinking if they win one, both of them, I don't think that's possible for them to miss the playoffs. But if they lose 2 and potentially have DeChamp or the Godfather win 2, they're automatically going to be out because of points. I don't think either of them can catch up in points. So all that matters is the records are tied. So if their record is tied, Gangrene and Jet Up with a DeChamp or Godfather, they're out of the playoffs. So that's kind of my first question is, like, do we think either of those teams can lose both of these games?
I mean, that'd be crazy. But yes, I'm looking here. So Brady Gaga, to kind of bring him back to life a little bit, just put up 168 and 134 and has won his last 2 games.
That's interesting.
So I wouldn't be jumping in the bit to play him in week 14 when that's really going to matter for JR. Coyotes has done a similar thing, hasn't he? Oh no, he put up 2 duds these last 2 weeks.
Yeah. He was doing that prior, but the last 2 weeks has been rough.
Yeah, look, from week 5 to week 9, let's just say he didn't score under 120.
Yeah.
And so
right.
Initially, I would have thought maybe I'll adjust my answer a little bit, but we know that Coyotes has the ability to do it. Just being bold for the sake of bold, and because Gang Green just put up a clunker against me, let's just say that happens, and he could definitely lose those next 2 games.
Yeah. So the weird part is if DeChamp and I both win the next 2 games, and either Gang Green or Jetup loses the next 2 games, we're both in the playoffs. DeChamp and me.
Is happening.
It's possible.
Wow.
So yeah, that's interesting. Because of who we play, because of us not playing each other after last week, it is possible for us to both win our next 2 games, and then have Jetup or Gang Green lose 2, and then we're both in the playoffs. So very interesting picture.
Yeah, I mean, Jetup has lost 4 of the last 5.
And I played Jetup
in
this week. So that is huge. Another one kind of like last week where I played DeChamp. We're in the same playoff bubble. I play Jetup, and we're in the same playoff bubble right now. So that is a huge thing. And ethically, I am going to text both Brady Gaga and Groovy Q to be like, hey, let's make sure we try to, start our lineup, make sure we're competitive. Because this is getting down to really meaning a lot for the playoff bubble. So I'll put you on the spot like I always do. And end of week 14, all this happens, they play all these next 2 games, out of these 4 teams, who do you think makes the playoffs?
Yeah, beautiful tables, by the way. This is awesome. This looks so great. Check out the YouTube if you're listening on the podcast right now. Out of those 4 teams, it's wild how things are getting even more shook up here, and that there's these doors opening for you guys. So I'm going to stick with what I said about Godfather making it in, right?
Okay.
I said that last week. I said you were going to overtake
Yep.
DeChamp there, but now that there's even more of a chance because of your points here, so it would be Godfather. And oh man, this is wild. I'm gonna go. I know I just said that I'm gonna be as mathematical as possible here. Just I know I said Gang Green could lose the next 2 games, right? But
yeah, I agree.
DeChamp, I'm gonna say I beat him in week 14.
Right.
So instead, I'm gonna say that the Godfather and Gang Green find a way to.
That's my call. That's my call too.
Really?
As I'm looking at this, I'm like, Gang Green probably wins these next 2 games. He really only needs to win 1, I think, to really solidify. I think he does that. Jetup, I beat, but then maybe he beats Groovy Q, so he could stay in there, but he could also lose that last week. And then DeChamp, it's up to him to win a couple of these games and have enough points. So there's so many things that could happen because technically, Gang Green and Jetup could win 1 each. Then DeChamp and me both win 2 games, and DeChamp still makes playoffs because he has more points than me. And that same situation could happen, and I score more points than DeChamp in these next 2 games, and I make the playoffs with that same winning and losing for those 4 teams. So very interesting, a lot to talk about. We'll do the same exact table minus week 13 once that's completed to see what is possible with 1 final week to go. So that'll be fun too. Go ahead.
Real quick asterisk. I do think it's kind of important to take all of Joe's games in like with the bird's eye view here, a little bit of a distance, because yes, he went on a 5-game losing streak, which is why he got himself in the position that he's in. He did put up above 100 every one of those games. He put up 144. He put up 118, 120 in one of those losses, and the 6th loss, actually.
Okay.
So is his team still capable? I don't know. All I know is that I used to fear week 14 because I had to go Uncle Buck to Champ, and now I'm not saying I'm like, cool, this is great, but there's less of a concern there than there was way back in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Does he have a few things stored up? Maybe, but I do think that you find a way in, no matter what happens to those things.
I really hope. We have two big games. Jet Up and Ladies Love G-Man for me. And in order to win and solidify a playoff spot, really important. And the points, it matters. I can't win with 90 points. I mean, I could, but it's not going to help me if Duchamp is going to win as well. Because he has more points than me, about 27 more. So I need to continue to inch up on the points as well. So the other question I had for you, there's 7 teams on the board right here on our table, which is the bye week bubble and the playoff bubble. So that's our playoff picture, basically.
Right.
Which team out of these 7 teams, there's only one, which team was not in the playoffs last year?
No way.
Yeah, there's only one team that we're looking at in the top 7 that were not in the playoffs last year.
So this was the same group here,
except for one,
except for that one,
and plus one because we had 8. Remember, we had 8
and plus one. Okay, right. Okay, me, you, Coyotes, Matt, I know was in the playoffs. Joe, I know was in the playoffs. I'm going to go the team that was Jet Up?
Gangrene. Gangrene was not in the playoffs.
Really real with you?
What?
I got so nervous to say Gangrene. I'm not saying like, I was going to say, but I just didn't want to keep stomping on him here. So
he was the only one out of these 7. And then the only one that's not in the 7 that was in the playoffs last year was Brady Gaga. He was actually in the playoffs last year with the top 8 making it.
Right.
And was that it? Godfather, Coyotes, like you called that too. He's not in the top 7. He was in there, but Gangrene was not in the playoffs last year and is looking to be in the playoffs this year. So very interesting there with the playoff bubble. And now we move on to the bye week bubble. So again, the same situation here. We have 3 teams that could potentially get a bye: Uncle Buck, Benz, and Giants and Cowboys. You and Giants and Cowboys have the same record, but you're only 1 game behind Uncle Buck with 2 games to remain. So technically, anything could happen. He could lose his next 2. You guys could win your next 2, and you or Giants and Cowboys could be the byes with Uncle Buck playing in the first round, but unlikely. What do you think? So if you look at this, Uncle Buck plays Benz and then Coyotes. You play Uncle Buck and then Duchamp, and Giants and Cowboys plays the softest schedule known to mankind. So with that being said, and looking at the next 2 weeks, who do you think gets those 2 bye weeks? Is it the same as it is right now, or does Giants and Cowboys sneak in there because he wins 2 and maybe you and Uncle Buck lose 1? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? And obviously, if anybody ties record with Giants and Cowboys, they will be the ones making it because of the points.
Yeah, right. I think with the way this year has been going, I'm going to say that I somehow pull out a crazy win over Sean.
Ooh, that'd be big.
And Giants and Cowboys beats Ladies, right? So we all go to 10-3.
Okay.
Just the way this year has been going, it seems to kind of like someone's pulling away a little bit, then they get brought back.
So in that situation, record or rankings would stay the same. It would be Uncle Buck, Benz, and Giants and Cowboys with 1 week to go. So what do you think happens in that week 14?
So that's what I'm saying is going to then just continue out. I'll beat Joe. Giants and Cowboys will win. Uncle Buck will beat Coyotes. And so
okay.
Right. Like, and so I actually think what it is right now, it could just be to the
I
very
could see that.
end here.
I could see that. Yep. I could see that. So we'll see. That's our playoff bubble, our bye week bubble. Yeah, exactly. We never know what's going to happen. If you're in 3rd, you play the 6th team, right? So potentially I sneak in there, you're in 3rd, we play each other. I wouldn't want that. Where do I want you so that we play in let me see the playoffs real quick. So if you finish in like the 2nd, we would be in the same. So you need to finish 1st so that we're not in the same side of the bracket. That's the only way. Because if you finish 3rd, we're playing each other week 1 of the playoffs. If you finish 2nd, we're going to play each other week 2 if I win. And then if you finish 1st, then you're on the other side. So try to finish 1st if you can, no pressure or anything.
I mean, I need Coyotes to beat Uncle Buck in the last week. And hey, quick dream scenario for 20th anniversary.
Okay.
not to like, this is not to push anybody else out, but imagine if it was me and you, right? Championship, the two young guys sticking with it for 20 years and then being in the championship on the 20th anniversary. That'd be crazy.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You put like Sean and Joe, or Joe and JR, or JR and Sean, any combination of those three would
anybody but Matt, please. No. I'm kidding. No. He's the one that would start, 6 years ago and then end up winning the 20th anniversary.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And then we need that guy too. So definitely an interesting bracket here to see what happens in these next few weeks, a couple weeks, only 2 weeks to go. So very interesting there. Let me see if I had playoff appearances. So I want to go through. I have a couple. Let me bring up the standings where we sit today, and I want you to read off 1 through 7. Okay, so that's kind of our playoff picture right now. And when you read off that 1 through 7, I'm going to tell you how many times they've been in the playoffs and if they're on a streak heading into this year. And I have that information in front of me. So let's start with, or 7 to 1, whatever you want to do. But let's read it off, and then I'll give you some stats regarding playoff appearances for these teams.
Sure. So at number 7, The
Godfather. So 9 times I made the playoff, and I'm on a 4 playoff appearance streak, which is tied for the longest. So right now, the current longest streak is 4, me and one other, tied for the longest, 9 times overall making the playoffs.
Wow. And for what it's worth, you are the highest ranking member of our league.
Oh, okay. In Yahoo?
The Yahoo all time.
Okay. Good to know.
Your goal.
And that was just the last 2 years, dude. I was nowhere near the top in 3 years ago.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Right. Number 6, we've got the champ is here.
The champ is here 12 times, tied for the most ever, and is on a 3 playoff appearance streak.
Wow. Number 5, got Jet Up.
Jet Up 7 times and is on a 2 playoff appearance streak.
It's legit group here.
Yeah.
At number 4, you've got Gangrene.
Gangrene 11 times, so right behind that top 3 at 12, 11 times, is not on a streak because, again, he did not make playoffs last year.
Yep. Number 3, Giants and Cowboys.
Giants and Cowboys have made it 4 times out of the 5 years that he's been here, and he's on a 2 playoff appearance streak, so he can make that 3 this year as well.
And at number 2, yours truly, Ben's.
6 times and no streak. I guess you made it last year. So you made it last year. Could go on a 2 playoff appearance streak.
And at number 1, we've got Uncle Buck.
12 times, again, tied for first, and it also tied for the longest with me at 4 times straight. Wow. So Uncle Buck 12 times, ties with Pack Attack, who won't make it this year, the champ and himself, but is tied for the longest streak with myself at 4 straight playoff appearances. So that's some playoff appearance stats. Anything that sticks out to you or any comments that you want to make on that?
Yeah, I mean, what a league. What a top 7 here. But I'm starting to wonder if Sean is actually over there in his home, just crunching the numbers
in the lab,
just going through he's got the all 22 film from NFL Plus. Like he's going through all the players. I don't know. There's a chance.
No, there's a 0% chance of that happening. But he still is pulling it out. I mean, he's on a 6-game winning streak. He's made 4 straight playoff appearances. He won. I forget what year he won, but he won somewhat recently.
22, right?
No, that was the year he lost in the semis. There I have it.
Because he lost to Q. Yeah,
I have it somewhere. Uncle Buck 1 win in 16. So no, he hasn't won recently, but he's been a part of the playoffs and been hanging in recently every year, the last 4 years. So yeah, I know what you mean, but no, it just happens. It just happens. It's kind of like poker. People play poker because of the analytics and the number. Some people just play by feel, and they're just like, yeah, I don't think you have it. Like I'm going to call. And some of those people are really good at what they do. So it's like Sean just jumps in. He knows some of the player names. He gets after it, and he built a very, very good team. The other thing is, did you see how many moves he's made on the waiver wire this year?
That's unfair.
2.
Yeah
2 moves, and still has a really, really good team. Not a lot of rookies. I think that's probably the one disadvantage, and maybe that's not a disadvantage. But in fantasy, you have some of these rookies that you get in draft that really help during the end of the year, like that last half of the year. I don't think he gets a lot of value from that because he doesn't know particularly the rookies. But what he does is he get those old players or those mature, the known players. And this year, not every year that's going to work, but this year that is really working to his favor.
It is.
Yeah. All right, so we have that as well. The playoff bubble, the bye week bubble, 2 weeks to go. We got playoff appearances, the streaks we talked about. We did a couple Jersey Crew trivias around the playoffs. It is here. I mean, we got 2 weeks left. I mean, this is when it gets real. Looking at all these different standings, who's going to make the playoffs for the 20th anniversary. And remember, it is winner take all. So that is a really big deal for the championship this year, which is why we continue to stress how important it is for just any team to make the playoffs, because if you make the playoffs, you have a chance to win it all.
Yeah.
One thing I want to do too is the Survivor. So I do want to go over Survivor. We had 3 remaining Survivor entries, which was Gang Green, Uncle Buck, and the Champ. And now we have 2 remaining. Unfortunately, Gang Green is eliminated with 93 points, which leaves, and I believe we both called this 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, the Champ is here and Uncle Buck, the last 2 standing, the last 2 survivors for our $360 pot, Uncle Buck and the Champ. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win, and how do you think it's going to go down?
This is a tough one because
I'll bring up their matchups too on the screen.
Yeah, I was going to say that Sean needs to have a low-scoring game this week for me to win. But you know what? I think my team could just have a high-scoring game and beat his team. And so I'm going to say that, Joe, I'm sorry this is where it ends for you. I'm going to say Sean finds a way to still win it.
Yeah.
But he loses to me.
Perfect situation, right?
Yeah.
I
think it's just too much. Like, whether I win or not, this guy's projected for 142, and he's been doing it. Have you noticed? Have you watched like the matchup, the stat tracker and stuff? And when his team's projection is in the red, it's at like 140 points.
Right.
Like usually it's like you get in the green when you're at like 130 or 140, and it's like, good, you're going to do better than we thought this week. When he's doing worse than his projections were for the week,
it's still 140.
It's still 140 points. Crazy.
Yeah, let's look real quick. Let me see. Uncle Buck, I'll bring up week 13. Does he have any buys? T. Higgins is out. J.K. Dobbins, we know, is out. And that's about it. That's about it. Yeah. Okay. He has to make a really, really tough decision between Jake Bates and Evan McPherson. All right. So, yeah, not much going on there. Projected 142. And then DeChamp. Let's see DeChamp here. Bo Nix. What a trade. Gosh, what a trade. Anyway, Bo Nix, Justin Jefferson, all good there. No buys whatsoever. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's going to be tough. Josh Jacobs, what is he looking like this week on the questionable tag?
He should be good to go. But even if he's not, Joe's got Emmanuel Wilson, who put up a big 20+ point.
Did he always have him, or did he pick him up? Was that what happened there? Because I went to get him and he had him. I don't know what happened.
I think he has had him. Yeah, I think he's been
good play. That's the handcuff right there, and it worked out. He had like 26, 29 points last week.
Yeah.
Warren, and then Jameson Williams. Did you see him put up goose egg last week?
Yeah.
So interesting there.
That's what we need.
Yeah, heading into week 13. So that's about it. Just going to look over the matchups here. We talked a lot about it. Our number 1 game of the week, matchup of the week, is number 1 overall, Uncle Buck, versus number 2 overall, Benz. And I think it does matter. Part of me was like, does this even matter? But I think it does because of the bye week, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, I do. I was thinking the same exact sort of, that school of thought of it doesn't like let's have a fun game. Hopefully our players don't get injured and just kind of like go on to the next thing. But I think it matters. And I know we've been saying this the last like few weeks, but this is the biggest game biggest week of the season, and it's just going to get more and more, right? Next week will probably be the same thing, but what a game. However this schedule got decided and then how our teams performed, whatever the reason for it all, but it's a great game. I'm going to take myself, of course, but
of course
I have to, but I got to put up a serious total here.
135, 140.
Yeah, which is possible. I put up 160 or something. It's possible. But.
And you're 1-0 in the death row. Remember, we talked about the last 3 games of the season was death row with Gangrene, Uncle Buck, and then Duchamp. Duchamp maybe fell off a little bit, but that's still a tough 3 games. You're 1-0 within that first the last 3 games. Heading into Uncle Buck's big game. Another big game. Godfather Jet up with the playoff picture. The last spot of the playoffs. Another big game, 149 projected for me, but that doesn't mean anything if Lamar just scores 7 or 8 every single game. So I got to figure that out. Hopefully he gets back into it, but big game there and a couple other big games. Duchamp, really hope he loses to Groovy Q. Don't know what's going to happen there. And then Giants and Cowboys needs to keep winning if he wants a chance at the bye week. So a big week in front of us, 2 weeks to go. And we got Thanksgiving tomorrow. So how do you feel heading into Thanksgiving and the last 2 weeks?
I mean, it could not be better. Just a quick note on your team. I'm going to make a call. This is the week that Lamar gets back to normal. He's playing Joe Burrow, who's coming back from injury.
Big rivalry too. Yep,
exactly. Yep. Yeah. And in division, he's got Cincinnati defense that we're not afraid of as the offensive players go. As far as they go. And then they've won 5 games in a row. They have to keep winning. And that's important for your fantasy players here. I think he puts up a massive game here.
Come on, Lamar. One more win. We need it.
Yeah. And then as far as Thanksgiving and like where we're at right now, usually I remember one Thanksgiving I picked up Matt Stafford off the waivers and he put up like 45 points. And I was just like, I wish it mattered. And it matters.
It matters.
So much matters right now for a lot of us. Sorry for 8 through 12. It's going to be a tough turkey day for you guys. I wish it was different, but a lot of it matters. I can't wait.
Yeah, me neither. We're heading into it. Good luck this week. Hopefully you are watching. Who's your big players that you're watching tomorrow?
Nobody. Just Sean.
Okay.
Yep,
okay.
Just Sean's team.
All right. Put up some duds.
Please.
All right, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Good luck.